Hey, this is Matt once again. What about 10 videos is the paid request. It's time for a broad Stipe. Thank you so much for that. And for those interested in requesting any type of videos, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. And this is for a film called Morgan from 2016, which I had never heard of, but it's directed by Luke Scott, the son of Ridley Scott. And then I watched it and I realized why I did not hear about this film, because it sucks. Luke Scott was, even Ridley Scott is not the Ridley Scott he used to be. Let alone his fucking son. Ridley Scott, who of course produced it because his son directed it, he put his name on it. Like Ridley Scott, I love Black Rain. Alien is his best. I don't mind Blade Runner. I love G.I. Jane. I like The Martian, but they didn't do Exodus, Gods and Teens. Alien Covenant was awful. Prometheus was awful. But anyway, this is about his son, Luke. And the movie is like trying to be a bit of that movie Ex Machina, which I wasn't even a fan of that movie either. Pretty much the setup of this film is Kate Mara, which I recognize this lady. She was in Sue Storm in the 2015 Fantastic Four movie. She was in Transcendence with Johnny Depp. She was actually in The Martian. She's a risk management specialist, a consultant that's sent in to see these scientists that are kind of in this little cabin compound in the middle of the woods, who are, of course, are doing experiments, because these scientists have created artificial life. The artificial life has been alive for 5 years. Even though she's 5 years old, her physical appearance is like 20 some years old. And it's played by Anya Taylor-Joy, who's actually the voice of Princess Peach in that new Super Mario Brothers animated movie. Well, one day, that artificial person named Morgan was talking with one of the scientists played by Jennifer Jason Leigh. Something went wrong, stabbed Jennifer Jason Leigh in the eye. Which is funny, like, stabbed her like 5 times, but Jennifer lived. I don't know, if you get stabbed in the eye 5 times, I guess you could live, I guess. I'm so used to movies where one and you're done. But now she's in her kind of room, Morgan is, and Kate Mara's character has come in to assess the situation and see what needs to be taken place after this. And there's some recognizable people in this movie. I mentioned Kate Mara, Anya Taylor-Joy, Jennifer Jason Leigh. Of the other scientists, Michelle Yeoh is one of them. Boyd Holbrook is like the nutritionist, and he's a bit of a hunter. Of course, Boyd Holbrook from Logan and The Predator. And then soon we got Paul Giamatti as a psychologist. He's not in the film Lawn Sally, but he is in this. So there's some recognizable people, I guess, because, hey, Ridley Scott's son is directing it, and maybe if it works out well, I'll get into an actual Ridley Scott film. Yeah, it worked well with your son. Can I be in a part movie, Ridley? But the movie is just really boring. It's slow paced, and the characters are really not that interesting. Like the scientists, you don't really get to know much about them other than they created this artificial person, and it's obviously working for some company. And in this case, this L9 prototype, they're trying to put some human emotions into this. And even though the warning signs are there that this thing's dangerous, they're still so hopeful of what they're doing that they look over some of its more questionable tendencies. Like, Jason Leigh has an eye patch on, and even though she got stabbed in the eye, she's like, "Oh, it's not Morgan's fault. It's my fault. I did this and that." And the movie kind of just Kate Mara assessing the situation, where we're told by these scientists what Morgan is. Like, we meet these characters, but again, it's not a whole lot we really get to know about them for me to really care and give a fuck. There's a point where they have dinner. Not Morgan, but the other people, they have dinner. And they're kind of explaining, what they're doing as well. And, we don't want to be like this place in Helsinki where things went wrong. And there's a bit where they bring in Paul Giamatti. And Paul Giamatti's good in the one scene he's in. Spoiler alert. Although he's a really shitty psychologist, because I get that you're trying to assess the situation on your own terms. So you're trying to provoke a negative reaction. But you have been told that the last person that did that got their eye stabbed a couple times. So the fact that you don't have any caution, any protection, somebody in the room, just in fucking case, just showed how stupid Paul Giamatti's character was. But he keeps verbally pushing her until ultimately she snaps, goes up and bites Paul Giamatti's neck out, and he dies. And then she tries to escape but gets tranquilized by Kate Mara's character. Kate Mara talks about how we need to get rid of this. The company is pretty much saying we need to get rid of Morgan. The scientists don't want to do that. One of them tranquilizes Kate Mara herself and locks her up. Morgan, I just kind of realizes that they were going to have the idea to get rid of her. Granted, they've all changed their mind and they want her to live, but apparently now Anya Taylor-Joy doesn't want to listen anymore. And listen to Paul Giamatti's character too much, saying, "He was right. You guys are my friends. Except that one lady. I forget that lady's name. It was like the one that was the nicest to Morgan." And by this point, we're like, I don't know, 50 minutes in? Like, not much has happened. Like I said, you don't really get much of the characters. So, spoiler alert, Morgan escapes, kills a few, stabs one, shoots one in the head. And also, this is big spoilers. There's a twist at the end that was not as surprising as the movie made me. The movie wanted me to be more surprised by the ending than I really was. Let me jump ahead. Morgan kills a few more. Gets in a couple fights with our lead, Kate Mara. Kate Mara drowns Morgan, Anya Taylor-Joy's character. Then shoots the one girl and shoots Boyd Holbrook. Because you find out that she too is a prototype. Sent in by the company to terminate if necessary and clean up everything if necessary, in which this case it was. And that's supposed to be the big twist. Well, number one, I knew someone was up because the voice that calls Tamara at the beginning, I recognized the voice. It's Brian Cox. You know, an actor that was Colonel Stryker in X-Men 2, Hannibal in the 80s film Manhunter. You know, he was Hannibal Lecter in that. I was sitting there going, this is Brian Cox. He's not going to be in here with just a voice on the phone. There's something more to this. And the way he's talking to Tamara, she even goes, do I have your full authority? Yes, you do. As in, yep, you do whatever you want. But if, you know, it felt like you don't kill someone. And then Tamara, the way she behaves was very emotionless for the most part. For the most part, other than some bits with Boyd Holbrook. And then there's a bit where, after Morden has killed a few people, looks at Kate Mara's character, staring at her, going, "You feel like you feel like you're yourself, or something else. One day you'll understand." It seemed like a weird line of dialogue to say. You feel like yourself or something else. And you're like, why are you saying that to her? People may think, well, it's talking about herself, but the way she was saying it felt like she was talking directly to her. And also, they get into fights, you're thinking, how the fuck? This person is seemingly so strong and so powerful. How could Kate Mara keep up in the fights? Does he have like 2 or so fights? And granted, Tate's getting her ass beat, but at the same time, they're being as quick and keeping up with it. I'm like, this person is supposed to be, like, you know, more human than human or whatever. There's something like you just felt something was up with this, and lo and behold, that was the case. Because after Morgan, the prototype, kills a few people. Tamara is still locked up. She's trying to find a way to escape. Morden kills a few more. Takes a gun, beats the shit out of one. Suffocates Michelle Yeoh. Kills and kits Jennifer Jason Leigh's character. Tamara escapes, tries to beat up, gets her ass beat by Morgan. Boyd Holbrook's there with a gun, sees that people are dying, goes, wait, has a rifle, decides to walk up to this close to her, wait, and gets beaten up a bit. Like, dude, you do know rifles work long range. You know, wait. I'm like, wait for what? Wait for Jesus? Waiting to exhale? Wait for what? Then there's a second fight where Kate and the girl Morgan fight in the woods. Kate gets impaled, but Morgan doesn't finish her off. So then Morgan goes up to the one girl she likes, and they're like by this docks. Kate arrives, drowns her ass. You're thinking, wow, this team must be really tough to be able to take this non-human and fucking drown her physically. This Kate Mara is not a big person. And lo and behold, she's a prototype, an older prototype. So after drowning that bitch, kills the other bitch, kills Boyd Holbrook. Brian Cox has this speech to this guy going, yeah, this new prototype proved what I was saying all along. This new L9 prototype is inferior. Stick with the old one. The old one meaning doesn't have the emotional moral code or elements of it like the new one had. Of course, basically, tries to make you have a oh shit twist, but at the same time, I'm sitting there going, yeah, this kind of makes sense now. Sorry, I'm looking down. I'm just sitting there going, I think I'm just spacing out, going, what can I say about this movie? It's one of those things where the only reason this got made is because it was Ridley Scott's son. Just the plot just seems like a very generic version of that Ex Machina movie. Or there was another movie I saw that I reviewed that I actually didn't mind, and I wish I could remember what the fuck it was called though, because I'm bad with titles. About another that was more like a robot, but had a female facade, and I don't think it was called The Prototype. I forget what it was called. Let me type movies like Ex Machina. Maybe that will come up. So it's nothing that original. It's nothing that unique. Drama wise, it doesn't say anything about the human condition or what it means to be human. This is not really the movie to ask those type of questions. As an action movie, there's really nothing happened for the first half, and the second half, there's not really anything much that you can really say that, I don't know, does really anything that different, unique, or exciting. The action, I mean, she kills a couple people, but nothing that inventive or gory. The fight scenes, like I said, there's, I would say technically two, where our lead gets her ass kicked both times. Now I'm trying to see if I can find what the hell this movie was called. Probably won't be able to, but let's see. It probably won't show up. I hate that I cannot remember the damn name of it because it's so bad with titles. I think it was just called The Machine. I think that's what it was. I think it was this. Which grants nothing entirely new either, but it just, if that's what I'm thinking of, I thought the pacing of that seemed to go a bit faster and a bit more satisfying as a story. While here it's, work up to a twist that either you go, oh, okay, or, oh, really? Or you find predictable. Whichever category you fall into. And that's the thing, when you see Kate Mara and her weird behavior and certain things here and there, even if you don't 100% predict the twist, and you just get a feeling that something is up, and lo and behold, that's the case. So it wasn't like, oh my god, it was more like, oh, okay. That kind of thing. And it's like, you get these actors, Michelle Yeoh, nothing to do, very throwaway role. Same with Jennifer Jason Leigh, very throwaway role. I didn't she get stabbed in the eye? She's in bed, kind of, oh no, that she's okay, I forgive her. Then, like, the next thing is her going up to Morgan and getting the shit kicked out of her and killed. Just a waste of Jennifer Jason Leigh, who I remember from the original The Hitcher movie. Waste of Michelle Yeoh. Paul Giamatti, again, only has one scene to be a asshole psychologist, then dies. Just seems like some of these actors just wasted and nothing rolls. And Anya Taylor-Joy is just, you know, looking pensive, and kills a few people, and then gets her ass killed. Let's say it doesn't do anything that unique that you haven't seen done in multiple movies similar to this idea. Exploitation wise, does it give you the violence gore that maybe you're looking for? Does it give you any inventive ideas to pontificate on? Like I said, the characters, I can't say I really gave a shit about anybody. So why? I mean, what is there really to offer with this kind of movie? Again, it just there's a reason why I never heard of this film, and that's why. Even if you're doing it just for an action film, there's barely any action in it except those two little fights. Yeah. Maybe okay, there's a little bit of a car chase as well, where one's chasing the other, and then T-Bar hits a tree and gets the airbag in her face. But there's no explosions. There's not really much in terms of foot chases. There's not really any gunfights. None of that sort. Boyd Holbrook's character is just useless. That's why I haven't talked much about him because, yeah, he gets a rifle and he's pretty just useless. He doesn't do anything. He's kind of just he at one point tries to kiss T-Bar, gets the gun, gets his ass hit by the Morgan character, follows Tamara. Tamara takes his white rifle and then gets shot in the head and killed. That's pretty much all Boy Holbrook does. So that's in these terrorists don't really amount to anything, and not much in like. I guess Boyd had probably the most personality of all the scientists because he was kind of the one that's not obsessed with the Morgan prototype character. Tamara, most of her performance is emotionless. You're to assume because of her job, but it's because of the twist. So you have two people fighting, and I don't give a shit about either one. Then why do I care about what's going on? You know what I mean? So I guess if you just need to watch what Ridley Scott's son did as a director, directing wise, average. I didn't notice anything directing wise that made me go, wow. Yeah, he's got his father's genes. Maybe he's got maybe blue genes, but actual like directing, I mean, there's no style, not much in terms of suspense. Because it's not horror. And see, this, you look at some of the marketing, it made it seem like it'd be a horror. It's not at all. It's not that violent. It's not much of a thriller. The first half is a bit too slow paced and just uninteresting. Just very kind of been there, done that. Fuck, I mean, Species did this better. Now that I think about it, you alter DNA, you create a life form, and the life form wants to get out and escape. And these, in this case, multiple people are brought in to assess the situation. Species had a lot more spit and fire to it. and Michael Madsen and Forrest Whitaker. You know, good cast. Much better, much more fun sci-fi movie. Just go watch Species. The first one, that is. That's what made me do it. I'm like, I rather just go watch. I like to rewatch Species. I haven't seen that in a long time. I want to rewatch Species. So that said, thanks for watching. Take care, and we'll see you guys later. Bye bye.